Hi everyone, welcome to Aha Moments with the Koi. My name is Gwen Heiser. I own Lavender Koi Yoga, which is a yoga studio in Berlin, New Jersey. So I wanted to start a YouTube channel for the studio just to be able to just to give some insights into yoga philosophy. Kind of taking the asana practice aside and focusing on the beautiful practice of yoga philosophy, which is a lot of mindfulness, a lot of tools that help us in our lives. So the first topic I wanted to talk about was knowing the difference between the self, the capital S self, and the human condition. So what that means is that we are this entity, right? And we have two sides to us. I like to think of ourselves as like a coin, right? It's one entity, but there's the heads and the tails, right? So we as human beings are this one entity. We have one side of us that is permanence, and the other side of us that is impermanence. Right? So we have an inner world that we work with, and then we also have an outer world that we work with. So in yoga philosophy, we are taught that we are not our bodies, we are not our minds. We have a body and we have a mind. Just as though, I have a hand, I could say, yes, my hand is there, but I have a hand, I am not my hand, right? So, going back to that coin, right, we have the side of us that is impermanence, which is trapped in time, which is our body, which is our mind. We know that our body ages. We know that our mind ages. And then we have the other side of us, which is permanence. So there's something inside all of us that has never changed, hasn't changed since the day we were born. And we can all feel that within us. So I like to think of when our birthday comes around, right? And you're another year older and you think about it, right? You think, oh, I'm another year older. But there's something within you that you can feel that is you. It's like that rock within you that has never changed, that has been the same your entire lives. That's the permanence that's within you. And in yoga, we call that the light of the divine. So there's a spark of light of the divine that was gifted to you by the universe. And that's your permanence. It has never changed. And it will never change. And it is perfect. It is, it has everything and nothing all at the same time. I like to think of it as like a black hole that is nestled right in the center of my being. And it feels so limitless, right? So whenever I need to kind of come back to myself and kind of tap into that feeling of limitless possibilities, I can always go there, right? There's nothing outside of us that will ever not change. Okay, so expect, right? So it's kind of a game, right? That we know that everything outside of us is trapped in time and space, and it is always moving and it is always changing. And if we believe that we are anything that is impermanence, then we will always feel like life is coming at us. So, I don't know about you guys, but I was never told since the day I was born that there is a difference between the thoughts in my head and the light of the divine that's within me, right? So I suffered a lot throughout my life because I believed I was my thoughts. That inner dialogue that you do something, you mess up, and then you call yourself an idiot, all sorts of names. If we have that inner dialogue with us every single day of our lives, we're going to believe it. Right? We're going to believe that, say, we're this horrible person, or we're this piece of crap, or any other self-negative talk. And it's really detrimental to your being right? If you feel that way about yourself. So in yoga philosophy, we call that suffering. So yoga is the practice to release the suffering. It helps you realize that you are not your thoughts. You have thoughts, but you're not those thoughts. So just knowing that takes a huge edge off of yourself. And it lets in an opportunity for you to really start to love yourself, right? So every single human being in this entire world should love themselves, right? If we don't love ourselves, then how are we going to love anything else, right? So we have to create this practice within ourselves, and it takes effort because the natural tendency of a human being is to always look at the negative. So it takes a little effort at first to not listen to the thoughts, right? We can listen to them, but become a witness of the thoughts. So I always tell people to start simply, right? And one of the ways that we kind of like run ourselves in circles around this idea is that we watch our thoughts and we say, oh, I said something horrible to myself. Ugh, I gotta change that. And then an hour goes by and then we do something else and we are like, oh no, I shouldn't have thought that in my head. Let's do something else. And we keep running ourselves in circles with this idea. We're never going to change up or create different neural mapping within the mind to be able to change this conditioning that we have of believing that we are our thoughts. So one of the ways that I tell people to start is to take a week or two and just watch. Grab a notebook and have just a little one that you can carry in your purse or your pocket, and just observe. Become the observer of the self, and just watch. This is kind of the fun part where we get to get some insight into our inner workings, right? There's that thing in between our ears that is so powerful. And yoga philosophy, especially mindfulness meditation, helps us realize the difference. When we sit down to meditate, the first thing that kind of starts to like go really crazy because we're trying to control it is the mind. But there's that space nestled right in the center of your being that's always peaceful. It's not trying to change, right? It's perfect. It's absoluteness. It is isness. It is you just being, right? Up here, that's a different story, right? So we want to just pay attention to it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to judge it. We need to get to know it before we're able to deconstruct it. Okay. So I say just watch it for a week or two, and then after you have some insight into how you think, what thoughts you have, then you can take a look at them and analyze them and say, this one is not serving me, and then this one over here, this one's serving me. And then we have this beautiful opportunity, instead of being controlled by the thoughts and being controlled by the conditioning of the thoughts, to be able to have a choice on what we want to, how we want to go about with our experiences and situations in our lives, rather than acting out of our conditioning and thoughts because we believe that we are our thoughts. Like I said, I don't know about you, but I was never taught that I was not my thoughts. So I constantly believed that I was them. And, I suffered a lot because I was very hard on myself. And most of us are. We're very hard on ourselves. And we should give ourselves a break all the time, right? We're human beings. So we have this one life as this person, right? So we want to be our best friend. We want to be our number one cheerleader. We want to love ourselves. We want to be in love with ourselves. And be showing all of that stuff, all of that compassion towards ourselves, we're going to be able to give that to others. So we were all born the same way, right? The universe peopled us, right? There had to be a difference, right? So we are that light of the divine. We are the universe. And the universe was like, you know what? I need to enjoy myself. I need to enjoy all this beauty, all this acknowledgement, all this wisdom. But there has to be a difference. So that's why the universe gave us this human condition, right? So we were all born with this human condition, and part of the human condition package was our ego, right? So our ego when we're babies really helps us out, figure out where our space is in life, how we're supposed to act, but if we don't recognize that that was a gift given to us with our human package, then it kind of gets out of control. Right? So as we age and get older and we start to really listen to the ego, then that will throw us off. Right? That'll throw us off the path of realizing that there is a difference between our permanence and our impermanence. Right? So our ego, if you ever have a negative thought, that is your ego, because your permanence never, ever, ever speaks to you in a derogatory or negative way. It is always positive. It is always your number one. It is always there for you. So the way we know the difference between what is communicating with us, our higher self or our ego, is we ask ourselves a question. We close our eyes, we ask ourselves a question, and if we have a response from that question, even before we're finished asking it, that's from our higher self. If we have to think about it, that's the ego coming in. So then we can take it or leave it, right? If we know that that's the ego, we can just put it aside and say, all right, I'll just ask myself the question later. One of the best ways to get to know yourself and to get through this process of really understanding the difference between the capital S self, and the reason why I say capital S self, if you've ever read any yoga philosophy text, you'll see capital S self and lower S self. Lower S self is the ego, it's part of the human condition. The capital S self is the permanence that's within you. And the reason why it gets confusing a little bit with these words is because words are made up by human beings, right? So this feeling, this knowledge goes beyond words, right? So that's why meditation and mindfulness practice is so important to a human being, to really realize all of this stuff, because we're not going to find it in the world of impermanence, right? We are these beautiful, intelligent life that moves amongst other life, but we feel separate from other life because we're gifted with these eyes, with these ears, with these senses that, when I view something, it is outside of me. Like when I'm looking at a beautiful sunset, I feel like I am separate from that sunset because I'm viewing it, right? I'm taking it all in through my senses, but I'm not separate from that sunset. We're all connected in this web of life. So, and it is within the law of nature to be doing its thing, right? So we as human beings are living life, but we also have to realize that life is life, and there is no counterpart to life. Life is isness, and like I said, that's what we are. We are being, we are isness. You might say, oh, well, yeah, there's life and death. No, there's birth and death. And those are the counterparts. Life is the only thing that exists that does not have this counterpart to it. So it is isness, and it has to be regarded with such high regard, right? And such profoundness, because it is in all of us, right? So again, how we realize the difference between the capital S self and the human condition is through sitting quietly, feeling that space within you that is limitless. Not the space between the ears, but the space that's nestled right in the center of your core of your body. And that in itself tells us something, that it's not up here, it's in here, right? And so when we're able to sit with that and feel limitless, we know that we can't be our minds, we can't be our bodies, because our bodies are limited in what their capability is. Our mind is limited in what its capability is, and it's trapped in time, right? It's aging as I'm speaking right now, right? So that space within you that has never changed, when people say, oh, I might be 70, but I still feel like I'm in my 20s, right? That means something, right? That's a profound statement, right? That shouldn't be taken lightly, right? Age is just a number, right? That is that person realizing that there's something very amazing within them that isn't outside of them, right? So again, one of the best ways that we can really discover ourselves is take that week or two just to be the observer of the self, kind of watch yourself, get insight into your inner workings. And again, it's fun getting to know yourself, and start with something simple, right? Don't start with say, I had this traumatic event, right? And we've all gone through trauma. Don't start with that, right? Start with something that's easy, and then start to develop your capabilities into unraveling yourself, right? We spend our entire lives creating ourselves. We are the creators, but we can also be the destructors of the self. So we can create and we can also destroy. And so our ability is amazing. So stop thinking that you are your thoughts, because you are so much more than your thoughts. And start believing in your truth. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is one of your greatest strengths. And allow yourself to inspire yourself. Get in there and be inspired about your uniqueness, your beauty. You are one of a kind. No one else has your personality. No one else has your bone structure. No one else has your capabilities, right? So this is all about you. And again, you have this one life, right? So you want to fall in love with yourself. You want to have compassion with yourself. You want to be your number one cheerleader. It's all about you. So get in there and get to know yourself, so that you can evolve yourself and transform yourself, so that, when that big day comes, right, when that counter of birth happens to you. And remember, we're born by ourselves, we're going to die by ourselves, right? We can't take anything with us, right? We don't own any of this stuff in the material world. Know that you can sit there or lay there and be like, I did it, right? I know myself to the nth degree, right? And I am going to just lay here and enjoy looking back on all of those aha moments I had when I realized how amazing I am. So if you ever have any questions about any of the topics that I talk about, please reach out to me. This is a platform of kindness. So we are here to give you insights so that you can evolve yourself and transform yourself and break open if you need to break open. Because remember, we carry everything with us. Our bodies, our minds are maps of our entire lives. And if there's something within you that is not benefiting you in your life, it's time to get rid of it. And yoga is the process of self-realization. So it is the science of self-realization. So it is the one thing that you can always count on that's going to move you on your path, the direction of the reason why you were born, right? Your purpose, right? You can't separate from your purpose. You are your purpose. And yoga is just that guide to help you stay on that path, right? So again, if you need any clarification, again, please reach out. Again, this is Lavender Koi Yoga in Berlin, New Jersey. My name is Gwyneth Heiser, and this is Aha Moments with the Koi. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you real soon. Bye now.